Welcome to Green is Good, raising awareness of each individual's impact on the environment and helping to create a more beautiful and sustainable world. Now, here's John Shigarian, Chairman and CEO of Electronic Recyclers International, and Mike Brady.
Welcome to Green is Good. And Mike, it's so great to be here in studio with you today. Mike Brady, I love coming here and doing this show with you.
Yeah, this is the highlight of my week, and I look forward to each weekend when we can get together and do Green is Good. John, the feeling is definitely mutual, and it's hard to believe. Time is flying so quickly. It's time for another Green is Good show, a chance where we get together and we learn some really cool stuff and we entertain, we inform, and we empower our audience to take a real proactive stance in the health of our planet.
And it's like you always say, Mike, little steps equal big changes. And, we're here in the beautiful month of March, and President Obama has put out his stimulus package. Now it's a little bit over a year. Do you realize $60 billion out of the stimulus package is assigned for green ventures across the United States? So for all of our budding entrepreneurs or business people that want to reinvent themselves, there's $60 billion in the stimulus for all sorts of wonderful green ventures.
You know, it's amazing to me, too. This is... Rather than getting depressed by all the global headlines and, there's global warming, no, that's junk science and blah, 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 blah. It's like, what an exciting time to be alive.
Oh, my gosh, to be alive and to be here in the United States and to have our government officials to assign that much towards the green revolution. This is just, this is amazing. And I think it's one of the greatest opportunities for a nation to reinvent itself.
And the cool thing about it, too, John, is anybody really can be an entrepreneur. All you need to do is quiet your mind for a little bit, slow down, and pay attention to the world around you. Haven't you ever noticed that when you're out taking a walk or just sitting quietly on the back porch, when you can find time to just be still and pay attention to the world around you, you listen, and sometimes solutions present themselves to questions that you hadn't even really realized that you were asking already. Do you ever get those aha moments, those ideas? And that's what entrepreneurialism is all about.
Yeah, you're so right, Mike. In that, when we have our little ideas, our little epiphanies, eventually, usually if you tap into that and then start to follow that, it can lead into unbelievable things. And we're going to be talking about that today. We've got two amazing entrepreneurs who did that today. But like you said, sometimes that consciousness, then that epiphany gets drowned out by the noise of our life, the noise of this world. And that's sort of the balancing act that we all have to do. We have to manage the noise of our life and the world. But for those of you out there that want to tap into that consciousness that Mike just talked to, the opportunity, there's been no greater time in this world than right now.
And thank you for spending some time with us this morning on Green is Good, because who knows, this may give you your next big idea, your aha moment. You may hear just one little thing that sticks with you, resonates, and gives you an idea that can help us all breathe a little bit easier and make you a lot of money, and we're all for that.
It's really true. Now today, Mike, we have two very practical and amazing entrepreneurs who have come up with stuff that affects all of our lives. Sometimes we have these big global guests on that are doing these amazing, solar projects or, or running the Rainforest Alliance, we love having those folks on. But then when you get down to the blocking and tackling of life, like you just said, the little ideas that you have. And today we have two entrepreneurs out there that have done exactly what you said. They have, do you have a fireplace at your house?
I do indeed.
And so do I. So I've always wondered since we've been kids, like when we were kids, Mike, I think we started fireplaces with logs and with sort of the newspaper.
Right, a little bit of kindling, and that's it, the traditional way of making a fire.
Then it evolved. Then we had these fancy, over the years, gas fireplaces.
Yeah, remember those?
So then now the idea is, how do you do a green fireplace? And today, one of our guests is going to be talking about fire logs.
Wow, can't wait.
So that's going to be a great story. And then the other one, it ties into that. It's a very simple idea. Pizza. Pizza. You grew up in L.A., I grew up in New York. Pizza is a part of our tradition, our staple of our life.
Can't imagine life without it.
And so we have a discussion today about greening the pizza experience by greening the pizza box that we get our pizza in.
Well, I cannot wait. And we'll warm your hearts with the story of EnviroLogs. So stick around. We're coming right back on Green is Good.
If a little green is good, more is even better. Now, back to Green is Good with John Shigarian and Mike Brady.
Welcome back to Green is Good, and Mike and I are so excited today to have another amazing entrepreneur on the show. We have Ross McRoy from Fitzgerald, Georgia. Ross, welcome to Green is Good. You're the founder and the president of EnviroLog. Ross, welcome, and tell us a little bit what you're doing with EnviroLog and how you even came up with this concept.
All right, John, I appreciate that. EnviroLog was founded in 2004, and we are a very innovative green products company and do a little recycling. We take wax cardboard, which everybody is familiar with because all their food is delivered to the grocery stores in it. Historically, the wax cardboard has always gone into the landfill, and we're the first company actually to put in place a sustainable business model that removes it from the landfill, converts it to a fire log that consumers can burn in their fireplace and reduce their dependence on fossil fuels.
Oh, well, that sounds wonderful. And, you know, we have a lot of entrepreneurs besides a lot of environmental people out there that listen to Green is Good. But wait a second, 2004, that was only 6 years ago. What were you doing before, and what made you come up with this concept?
Well, I did a little alternative energy work and got asked to write a business plan associated with the concept of taking the wax out of the landfill. And once I wrote the business plan, I got kind of excited about it and got more involved. The next thing I know, I'm championing all the investment and bringing the product to market.
Okay, so now you came up with the concept, you wrote the business plan in 2004, and to just give us the need, like tell us what the real need is, like how many millions of pounds every year of this wax cardboard was being thrown into landfills every year?
Oh, millions and billions of pounds.
Millions of pounds. So this was going into the landfills, clogging up our landfill system, and you have now one of the first and great uses of it on your hands. So how long did it take you to develop the product and bring it to market?
It took about 8 months.
8 months.
It was an existing technology that we acquired, and then we commercialized it, figured out where it fit in the marketplace, and packaged it up and put it in front of consumers and asked them if they liked it, and they loved it, and we're in business.
Okay, so you started selling it in 8 months after you came up with it, and how's it gone over the last 6 years? What is that the only product you have, and how are the sales going?
No, we've developed other products. We're in developing a new fire log that burns longer. We're hoping to bring out in this year on a trial basis. We have a eco-friendly ethanol-based fire starter gel that's made with sugarcane and corn-based, and it'll be a very unique product also. We also have eco-friendly wax starters that we sell on our internet site right now. That's been a big seller for us. We brought it out this year on a small scale, and next year we'll roll it out to the masses. And then we sell various pack sizes to different customers of our 5-pound fire log, which is the industry standard, and we do a 3-pound fire log, which is a very unique product for us. Burns the longest in the marketplace, and it's great for outdoors and going camping.
So you're saying your product, are you one of the largest then recyclers of wax cardboard in the United States?
Yes, we are. We are the largest.
How much of this cardboard do you recycle now annually?
We're growing by multiple, probably 20, 30, 40% a year.
Right.
As we partner with grocery chains that learn more about our sustainable business model.
Sure.
They love it.
Sure.
So we're practically doubling. We're probably in the 15 to 20,000 ton range right now, and we're hoping to be able to take more as the fire logs sell, and we continue to grow the fire log market. the demand for us to move more wax comes in place.
So instead of throwing this stuff into the landfill, you're making something really positive that we all need or all want to use anyway out of it. And so the environment wins and the landfill wins, and you have a great company under you. But wait a second now. Explain this to me. How are your logs, though, so our listeners understand, and Mike and I understand, how are they different from regular logs that we go down a store and buy now in terms of environmentally friendly and sustainable practices?
Well, that's a good question. The nice thing about EnviroLog is not only can you use it just like a traditional fire log that you've been used to, what we call the wax-based traditional fire log that you've seen for the last 40 years, you can also use us in a wood stove. You can cook with us. You can take it camping. Your kids can, roast marshmallows over it. So we're really the ultimate wood substitute.
Even for pizza ovens and things of that such?
We actually have customers that actually use the product as a supplement heat for their restaurants. That is correct. Pizza ovens.
You know what's really cool too, Ross? Pardon me. I'm on your website right now, which if our listeners want to follow along right now, I really suggest they go to. It's www.enviro-log.net. Enviro-log.net. And I'm looking at some of the other differences, too, about your logs. Here in the Central Valley in California, we have wood burning restrictions. So non-wood, we're asked to burn cleanly sometimes when there's restrictions, and that would be perfect for your product here that produces 80% less carbon dioxide, 30% less emissions overall. What I really love, anybody that's ever had to sweep out a fireplace is going to love the fact that there's 86% less creosote. But as you mentioned, it can be used in wood stoves. The very cool thing that I'm finding about your product from your wonderful website here is that you can burn these logs, your Enviro logs, with wood logs at the same time, which with a lot of manufactured logs, you cannot do that, and you can also burn more than one at a time.
Yep, we're the ultimate wood substitute. There's another thing that we just finished some testing there, Mike, on greenhouse gases. That's a big bullet out there. People are becoming more and more aware of what greenhouse gases are. We tested recently against wood in both the fireplace and the wood stove, and we were found to be 12 to 30% lower greenhouse gases, not to mention the emissions you just read off, but we're significantly less in a greenhouse gas. So anytime somebody has to make a decision to build a fire, when they burn us, they're helping the environment greater than they originally thought.
And 100% of your product is made from recycled products. So
that's right. So the retailers that need the wax box to move the perishable goods to the market, divert it to us, they are also reducing their carbon footprint, which is important to them. So
tell us how you start. So entrepreneurs out there and other people who want to get some of President Obama's $60 billion in stimulus and go create a green business that are listening right now, tell us how you start. Like, where did you start selling when you started selling, and where are your logs now sold?
Well, we're sold nationally. Through several channels. We're also sold in Canada, Walmart and Canadian Tire. In the U.S., we're in the Home Depots and the Kmarts and the Sears and traditional fire log outlets.
Really? So you're in all the biggest brands across America, Home Depot, Sears, Kmart, etc.?
Yes, sir.
Wow. And so what's the goal here? Where else? Are you selling these internationally? Do you have competition since you started this? What's going on? Explain that to us, Ross.
Well, we do have to be aware of the competition. They're a good product. They continue to make innovations. We are, we're already green. We're just becoming greener. They're learning how to become green. So we are really beginning to chip away at the environmental elements that the customers are interested in. The retailers are learning what green really means because it's never been defined before. And we're part of that process of educating them. We sell to state parks, camping, C-stores. Those types of outlets also are very promising for the product.
Beautiful. And now, do you also are you selling internationally yet?
We are exploring that this year. We have been approached by some European Union style companies on bringing our product in because they still use a lot of wood products in their home heating. They're a little different in U.S. is real dependent on natural gas and other fossil fuels. There's a big component of biomass, wood being the. So they've come to us and said, you guys are cleaner than wood. We would like to put you in some very dense populated areas. Can we work together? So we're exploring that. I think it's exciting.
How about in Asia? Is there anything you're selling any over in Asia yet?
There's a couple companies that have approached us. Korea is a big one. We do things differently in the United States. Our products are usually bigger, so we have to kind of scale back to fit that market. But there's great interest. We've got an inquiry, a substantial inquiry from the Asian market right now on our products. So yeah, I think we're becoming very, very on an international level not known. So we were excited.
So when you say your product is actually good to the earth and to the environment for many reasons. You're saving trees by not by people burning your product instead of wood burning wood logs. We're saving trees. Then we're saving the landfills from unnecessary waste, and then you're recycling that product, and then it's emitting less air pollution when they're burning. So, I mean, is this not like one of those 3 or 4 or 5 time win? And now you have a company that's also making a profit.
You missed. We heat the home, so you don't have to buy as much energy if you choose to make a fire. We're more efficient in the fireplace because you build the fire. So
wow.
We have a lot of those attributes, and we're great for homeowners that want to get away from the single log in the fireplace and build a real fire. So
then when you started the company, what was your dream back then in 2004, and how close are you to your dream? And then today, where is your goals from here on out?
Well, your goals always change when you work for yourself,
right,
as an entrepreneur.
Right.
You get started, you don't really know. And that probably makes you very effective because you don't have any barriers when you think, because you don't have any experience. So everything's you don't understand, so you just keep challenging. So now I think going international, bringing new products in for customers, developing our eco brand, our Envirolog brand, and continue to put it in front of customers and educate them on the difference is where we're at now. It's pretty exciting, getting a chance to be on a radio show like yours and tell people about our product and just brag a little bit.
And right now, I mean, if you have a percentage of the marketplace in the United States, well, how far can you take this? How big can you grow the company? Is my.
I'd like to see every household in America choose an Envirolog over a piece of wood.
Gotcha. That's a great goal. Now, when you've gone, when you started showing up with your product to walk the people out there that always have the new idea that sometimes get their doors slammed in their face and things of that such. When you started taking your log over to some of the bigger brands that you mentioned earlier, such as Home Depot or Sears, how was it originally received, and how was the beginning of the sales cycle here?
Well, I'll tell you just. Because I know there's a lot of people listening that probably have great ideas and kind of scared to get out of the box and try something. The word no is very common. But when we first got started, John, we thought we would sell in the grocery industry because that's where all the wax boxes was.
Right.
So our whole mindset was we're going to go to grocery. The first people that picked us up was the hardware and mass merchants that loved the product, and the grocery stores were a little slower to understand the product and how it fits into their business model. Today, that story's not the same, but we were willing to make a decision so we could learn something and move forward. And that's the hardest part with entrepreneuring, is making a decision and be prepared to change direction on the instant.
Right.
Your product where it fits, and you don't have all the answers. So you got to get started and get the experience. Without experience, you can't answer anything.
How many employees do you have now?
We run about 25, and then when the season picks up, we'll bring another 18 to 30 on board.
And I take it your company's profitable?
We are.
That's great. And now you manufacture these logs in Georgia?
We do. We manufacture right here in Fitzgerald, Georgia. We're what they call a Tier 1 county, so we have high unemployment here in the state of Georgia. So our little factory puts a lot of good quality people to work.
And as far as we're concerned, if the president stopped by today, those would be real-life green-collar jobs, huh?
That would be exactly right.
Hey, it's so funny. When Mike and I started the show about a year ago, there would have been no guessing by us that Georgia would have been so well represented. But we've had at least 6 shows, including Chuck Lavelle, including Ovi Magelli, including the Director of Sustainability from the city of Atlanta. So many great green businesses and great green thinkers are coming out of Georgia. What gives over there?
They must be in the water. The South is not known to recycle. You would think this type of stuff would come out of the Northeast or Canada or Europe or something like that. Here we are in a state that does a very good job at promoting business recycling and things, and it fits.
Are you on a lot of very green companies or very green governments' radars? Like, do companies that promote themselves as being green, do they buy your products purposefully as a statement and talk about it? I mean, how many companies are you servicing besides the consumers out there?
We don't do a lot of business-to-business style with the product. We'd like to.
Okay.
Probably a lot more effort and footwork. We'd like to do some private label for those companies that want to establish themselves in the consumer market and have a green product that might be niche. Some of the larger distributors that cater to the smaller grocery chains that go into, every household of America.
Right.
I'd love to be working with them and establishing a distribution channel that's cost-effective that can get into the stores where they don't have a lot of shelf space.
Does it make sense, Ross? Are you always going to be producing these products in Fitzgerald, or are you going to one day also have to open up to meet the demand? Are you going to have to one day open up a facility in Asia and in Europe to meet the demands of those continents also?
I would love to be able to open up a plant in Europe.
Really?
In Asia.
That's
Australia, great. Any of those areas. In South America is a big, they have a lot of wax boxes in South America also.
Mike and I know a thing or two about recycling. We're always fascinated when we have people on that are, recycling something that has historically, legacy, been thrown into the landfills, which no longer has to be. So as you grow, you're going to keep pulling this wax cardboard out of landfills. How do you get the product? What's the reverse logistic, and from how far of a region do you draw upon to bring the product back to Fitzgerald?
Well, it's not real. It's all about manufacturing efficiency. I'm going to touch on your factory. We do have a factory here in Georgia, but we're very cost competitive.
Okay.
We do a lot of backhauling.
Oh.
We have strong relationships with trucks that run up and down the road empty.
Okay.
So by us putting it on a truck that's running up the road empty, we're being business-wise on a cost basis, but also not adding anything to the environment. We're neutral because the truck's going back up the road.
That's right. How far of a region, though, do you draw upon from the landfills that you're pulling these boxes out of? Do you go as...
We pull from Texas.
Yep.
Pulled material out of California. We've pulled material. We have partnerships. We have over 50 suppliers right now and growing. And we have done Maine. We work with New York, New Jersey, Chicago. Where people are, there's the cardboard box.
So explain to our listeners what you mean by 50 suppliers that are trying to reduce their environmental impact that you partner up with, so they understand.
If they go to a restaurant and pull a bag lettuce go to a restaurant and eat a salad,
yes,
or they go to a grocery store and buy a bag of lettuce,
right on.
More than likely that came in a wax box, and that wax box had to go somewhere. So we work with all of the major produce converters that shred the lettuce and prep the food for us to have the convenience at the store. They generate the wax box. The wax box is at the end of its journey, and they have two choices. They can either landfill it or recycle it. We have been working with them to recycle it. The grocery stores also the same. When they empty the box, the wax box then either has to go in the waste hauler or in the back of our truck. So we have two really different, distinct supply chains. The big giant produce producers for the retail market, and we have the grocery stores also.
Gotcha. So you're on both sides of the equation there, helping to make the world a better place. You're working with the producers of it, but then also the where it was ending up also at some point.
Yeah, we work with a lot of the produce guys, and we drive down their carbon footprint or their sustainability and increase their scorecards for their suppliers, because of all the retailers want to know how well the produce companies are doing. And they grade them. So there's some incentive being built into the system now that produce companies are looking for a little bit more waste reduction methods. We come along and we offer a full-scale recycling program to them, and we end up managing their cardboard. We help them figure out ways to get rid of their plastic in a productive way. We also recover their wax, and we've been very, very fortunate to continue to grow those channels of supply.
That's wonderful, and you're doing some great stuff, and we're so excited, and we're so thankful that the you were able to spend some time with Mike and I today. We would like our listeners to learn who want to buy your product. Can they find the stores to buy it on close to them on your website?
Yes, they can. We are at the end of the season, tailing off the end of the season, but some of those retailers still have the product in stock.
You're a great entrepreneur, Ross, and you're very inspirational. We want our listeners to go to your website to learn more about your company and all the great things you're doing. That's enviro-log.net. Mike, you're on the site right now.
It is really cool. There's a store locator there by region, which is very cool. You can also shop online and get the full story on the manufacturer and how it's made and what you are doing by purchasing these EnviroLog products to really help the environment and make a stand.
And Ross, we're so proud to have great entrepreneurs and visionaries who are doing really great things on Green is Good. And we just want to say thank you for being so helpful today and explaining it all. Thank you for being an inspiration. And thank you for not only talking a great talk, but walking a great walk. You are living proof, Ross McCroy, that green is good.
If a little green is good, more is even better. Now, back to Green is Good with John Shigarian and Mike Brady.
Welcome back to Green is Good. And, Mike, that first part of our show with Ross McCroy and EnviroLog was great. But it's the second half is going to be just as wonderful.
It's going to be really tasty.
Well, growing up in New York City, pizza's a dinner staple. It could be for lunch, folded over. And it's even for morning breakfast. It's absolutely a delight on the weekends.
Nothing like starting the day with cold pizza for breakfast.
I
love it.
Pizza.
Yeah.
So in New York, it's a whole different experience. But I know you grew up in L.A. and I know there's great pizza in L.A. too. But today, we're gonna, like you said, and you always say this, Mike. Everyone should just go through their life and think about what could be made better, what could be different. And we're always evolving as a society and as a business community.
Sure, it's all about small stuff. I mean, everybody wants to change the world, but really the biggest thing we can do is just make small changes in our lives, which, over the course of a lifetime and the ripple effect, somebody sees you, even if it's something like, hey, you didn't throw the trash there, but you're walking into a store and you just bend over and pick up the trash and drop it in the trash can, the ripple effect there, somebody sees you do that, they may think, I could do that too.
Look at Ross McCroy. He keeps 100 million pounds of wax cardboard out of the landfills. And as his company grows, just think about the impact it's going to make, not only in the landfills, but the wood savings it's going to make. And then, as he pointed out to us, the energy savings in our homes and businesses that burn them, and also the cleaner air. I mean, talk about a win for the environment 4 or 5 times over. And he has a profitable company with green-collar jobs.
Well, one of the things I think one of the beginnings of wisdom is when we as individuals begin to realize our interconnectedness and our interdependence on one another, because really, people say, am I my brother's keeper? Well, you stop and think about it. Somebody else is having a bad day, that can affect you. I mean, think about our attitudes.
That's so right.
We are more connected than we care to think. So that's why really when we do small things in our own lives, that can affect a global change.
That's so true. And we've discussed pizza on this show before. We had Mike, the wonderful entrepreneur with Pizza Fusion.
Mike Parisi, yeah.
Mike Parisi, Pizza Fusion, one of the great holistic, sustainable pizza chains in this country and growing. and we talked a lot about organic ingredients and gluten-free dough.
Right.
Today we're going to go on the flip side of that. We're going to talk about something that we didn't focus on, the box side of it.
Geez, when you stop and think about it, think about all of the. Okay, here's the deal. Just when you're taking the dog for a walk, the night before the trash is picked up,
Right.
in your blue containers, sometimes they're overstuffed. You're walking through your neighborhood, just kind of do a casual survey. I'm not saying go dumpster diving, but just to kind of take a look around and see how many pizza boxes are peeking out underneath that blue lid.
An amazing number, because who even thinks about how many million pizzas are delivered? I don't know the number, but I know it's in the millions every day in this country in a pizza box. And if we could now either make those boxes in a better way or recycle them in a better way, what an amazing impact just a small little item can have on the whole world and the environment.
So we're going to be talking to a guy who does just that. That is his passion, and he is revolutionizing the pizza container industry.
It's called the GreenBox, and William Walsh is going to be with us right on the other side of this commercial. Come on back to Green is Good.
If a little green is good, more is even better. Now, back to Green is Good with John Shigarian and Mike Brady.
Welcome back to Green is Good, and we're so excited. We've got one of the great green entrepreneurs in the United States right now with us, William Walsh, who's the designer of the GreenBox. William, you're calling in today, or we're calling you back in my hometown of New York City, New York. You've got a great product here. Tell us about how you came up with the GreenBox. And again, welcome to Green is Good.
Well, John, how it came about was initially back in college. I played football in college, and I lived with 30, 40 other football players, and plates were always a problem. So our parents would bring up, grandma's old dishes after they were in the basement, and this isn't very environmentally friendly, but nobody wanted to wash dishes, so basically grandma's old dishes were used as disposable plates.
Well, let's give our listeners a little context here. Were you in college last year? How many years ago was this?
This is in 1992.
All right, so wait a second. You're an entrepreneur. You've been an entrepreneur and waiting for all this time?
Before that.
Okay, so you came up with this back then, and so this idea has been just sitting with you or germinating, or have you been evolving it since 92?
Well, what happened was it was initially I just tore the top of the box off and ripped it into pieces of plates, like just 4 plates, like I thought everybody else did. And at the time my friends were like, "Yeah, you really need to do something with this." And I just kind of wrote it off as a bunch of idiots sitting around watching a football game, drinking a keg, So I didn't give it too much creed back at the time. And back then it was simply just the perforations, it was just the plates. There wasn't any other functionality added to the box.
Right.
And it was about 7 years ago, back in 8 years ago, 2002. I lived in Newport Beach, and that's where I really got involved in the environmental issues, and it really became my girlfriend was an activist, and so she really awakened me to the problems. I took for granted that every forests were always going to be there, and the grass was going to grow, and the air was going to breathe, be clean to breathe. And we lived in Orange County in Newport Beach, and 30 miles north, you're in smog heaven in L.A.
Yeah.
And so we really got involved in the environmental push back in the early
2002.
Yeah, 01, 02.
Got it.
And we started there were some projects out in Newport about cleaning up the beaches, just all volunteer type of work, and did things like that. And a friend of mine, he was a pretty wealthy guy. He just sold a construction company. We were at his daughter's, I think, 7th birthday party, and there were like 50 or 60 kids, very privileged kids in Newport Beach, and we ran out of paper plates, and it was a pizza party, and we had 50 pizzas delivered. We had all these pizza boxes, and my friend Dave was going to send his wife out to get plates, and I said, Dave, there's no reason. I go, watch. And I just tore the top of a box and ripped it into 4 pieces, and the little girls just went wild. I mean, they started tearing up boxes, and they loved the fact that they had plates right there. You know, they were making their own plates, and the kids just loved it. And after the party, Dave took me aside, and as I said, he just sold a pretty big construction company, so he was well off. And he said, "Listen, Will, you know, you're onto something here." And I explained to him. I said, "You know, Dave, it's really there's some major just inherent problems with a pizza box. You know, it's unruly. It's a 16-inch pizza, roughly a 16-inch pizza box, roughly has about 16 and a half square feet of paper. Goes into one pizza box."
So wait a second. So during that birthday party, was that your new epiphany? Was that your magic moment, your aha moment? Like, I got to do it now. I can't wait any longer. I got to go for this.
Yeah, it was kind of it wasn't really it wasn't an event. It was more of a process. It was you know, I got the reinforcement that the impetus, the base idea was good. You know,
right.
Multifunctional, and the kids loved the plates.
Right.
But what I said to him was, you know, now that we removed the top of the box, now it's a bigger problem because you still can't fit it in the refrigerator. Now you have to, even if you can fit it in the refrigerator, there's no cover. You know, now you have to use Saran wrap and you have to use aluminum foil. And he goes, yeah, and I'm like, you still can't get it in the garbage can. So those are your basic problems with a pizza box. It has a single purpose, just delivery. It's a delivery mechanism. You can't fit it in the refrigerator. You can't fit it in the recycling bin, and it's extremely difficult to handle.
And do we know, Mike and I, when we were introducing you earlier in the show, before we brought you on from New York, we were talking about, do you know the number, Will, of how many pizza boxes are used every day in this country?
Well, I know how many are used every year.
How many a year? Give us a year.
2.37 billion are manufactured in this country every year. To give you a visual of that,
yeah.
You take that 2 years worth of usage, and a pizza box is 2 inches high, and if you stack those 2.37, actually 4.74 billion boxes, which would be 2 years worth of consumption just in the United States, you would actually go past the moon.
Unbelievable.
You stack the pizza boxes on top of it.
So you're taking something that we all take for granted because it's ubiquitous to our society now with 2.37 billion a year, and now you're reinventing it. You're evolving it to fit with the new green generation.
Exactly.
Great.
Exactly.
So what
happened that afternoon was Dave was like, well, you know, you're an engineer, you know, solve these problems. So we went to the local pizzeria, and they thought we were crazy. I said we ordered 100 pizza boxes, no pizza, just pizza boxes. And, went to Staples and got an X-Acto knife and a straight edge, and he said, you know, fix it, you know, create it. So I spent a weekend in my apartment. I didn't leave. My girlfriend thought I was out of my mind. I wouldn't go outside. I got just stuck, and that is when the process began. You know, I came up with 3 or 4 different designs that were, you know, reasonable,
right?
That worked,
right.
But some of them, I didn't. There were some constraints that I wanted to stick to. You know,
right.
I have a strong engineering background, but I wanted to make sure that it was. I didn't add any more material than was currently being used.
Right.
The B, I wanted it to be made out of 100% recycled material.
Right.
That's spiked out in the patent.
Beautiful.
Manufactured from 100% recycled material.
Right on.
This was when green was just a color. Like it wasn't, and the environment wasn't high on anyone's priority list.
That's right. You were early. You were before the green revolution took hold. You were early, way early.
Way early. Well, it was lucky because it took 6 years to get the patent through the process.
Wow. And so wait a second.
What happened was I spent this weekend, I came up with 3 or 4 different designs and presented them to basically a test market.
Right.
I talked to a bunch of different people from different backgrounds, different ages, a bunch of different demographics, and got feedback. And out of that feedback, I kind of created what's now known as the GreenBox is a brand. You know,
right.
It just happened that we have a plethora of products that are in the different stages of the patent and design process. But the GreenBox was the first product that was released by the U.S. Patent Office. That's the one that we have.
And when did that get out? When did that come out?
It was released in 2007. June, July 2007.
So Mike's on your amazing website now, greenboxnewyork.com, and that has all your products on it, or all that are in motion?
No, we see the problem with our products is it's very inexpensive tooling.
Oh.
So patent pending affords you no protection whatsoever.
Gotcha. So you only put stuff that's once it's patented up on the site and promote it.
Exactly.
Hey, and
it's too inexpensive to
got it.
Get off.
Yeah, and obviously you're a visionary and you're brilliant at what you do. I just want to tell our listeners, not all our entrepreneurs, listen closely to how he did this over the years and how he evolved this. But Will, you're not only you're a double major. You're an industrial design major and a marketing and business administration major. So take us a little bit through how you officially launched the box, where you are now, and why are you all over the media now? How have you pulled this off? Most people would be green with envy.
Yeah, well, it really wasn't. We didn't really do much, to be honest with you, about getting the word out there. We created a website and we shot a video. And
tell us about that video. We know it's blown up. Tell our listeners about the convergence of online website and then video and then stuff like you're doing today with us on the radio. Tell us about the success.
This is Eco Incorporated's first product, the GreenBox.
There's your video right there,
pizza box
buddy.
of the 21st century.
Just amazing.
Yeah. Believe me, I know it.
So what happened? How did you gain?
What happened was we weren't too. I guess social media savvy at the time.
Yeah.
We didn't realize the power that Twitter, Facebook, and all these social media sites really had. Our CFO, Jennifer Wright, decided to. She's a brilliant girl. Graduated from Columbia Business School a year and a half ago, and decided to become social media savvy, and created a Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. Facebook. MySpace, Twitter sites for the company, and one evening she was going through tweets, and those are messages that are sent back and forth between people on Twitter, and she happened to stumble across one from Ashton Kutcher, and one of his claims to fame is he has more followers on Twitter than anyone else, and his tweet said, "Will not do advertisement, but will do brand mention." So you have 130 characters to send out your message. So in 130 characters, Jennifer summarized our product and our company, and included a link to our YouTube site and to Ashton Kutcher, never thinking that he would ever read it. And not only did he read it, but he retweeted back one word, and it was smart. And because he tweeted to us, it also went out to his 1.3 million followers. So within 24 hours, we had over 100,000 hits on our YouTube site.
Wow! How many have you had to date?
We're pushing 800,000 now.
So you're a YouTube rock star.
After that, we linked it to Facebook. We linked it to God, we use all of them. Flickr for photos, Vimeo. It ended up on Dig. I remember one week one month we were like the number 3 out of like 4,000 digs. We had more than the president's speech. The president gave a speech that week. Yeah, that week we had 8,400 views, and the president had 6,700 digs or something around that number. But the point being that we had actually more views and more digs than the president did that week, which I found kind of interesting and disturbing.
Well,
but it's a great product. Everybody likes pizza. I mean, even saying it puts a smile on your face.
I'm hungry.
Like pickle.
We're hungry here.
Like
We're hungry.
You know, I don't know anybody that doesn't like pizza.
No, well, first of all, Will, your story is amazing. We have tons of entrepreneurs that are going to just get inspired from it, and but we want to also cover this. How do we help you get the word out? What's the next steps you're taking to get the word out and sell your boxes, and how are you going to be distributing this product?
Well, our next step is we're in 2 trade shows that are going to be at the end of February and the beginning of March. One of them is the National Restaurant and Food Service Show at the Javits Center in New York, which is February 28th to, I believe, March 2nd. And then we have the Pizza Expo, which is in Las Vegas, which starts on March 2nd and runs to March 4th. So we have 2 key distributors. Our main distributor is Roma Foods, Performance Food Group.
Okay.
We have a national program in place with them.
Right.
And then we also have Imperial Bag and Paper, who is a very green. You know, they distribute like 60 to 70% of their products are green products. They're located in Bayonne, New Jersey.
Okay. So wait a second. So for
those are our 2, and we have a handful of 6 or 7 other distributors: Acme Paper, Mansfield Paper, places like that.
So if there's a restaurant,
more regional. But the 2 biggest ones, Cisco is another player in certain regions. There are some of the major the big 4. We're being reviewed right now by 2 of the top 4 pizza chains.
So wait a sec. Tell me a couple things. First of all, first question is, if restaurants are listening today and they want to buy, who do they call and what website do they go to if one of our listeners wants to get your products? Because we have listeners all around the world.
Well, you can go to Roma Foods.
Okay.
Or you Google Roma Foods or Imperial Bag and Paper.
Great. And now I'm the president of the biggest pizza chain in the United States, and I'm on an elevator with you in New York. Give me the elevator pitch. Make our listeners compelled to demand your product. Why is the GreenBox greener and more environmentally friendly than their typical box?
Well, it's manufactured from 100% recycled and recyclable material.
Okay.
The box is multifunctional, so it eliminates the need for any ancillary materials, serving materials like plates, paper plates, even washing dishes, wasting water and detergents.
Okay.
Storing the product, your leftover pizza, there's no need for any type of packaging, Ziploc bags, saran wrap, aluminum foil, things along those lines, which never break down. They'll be in the landfills till the end of time. Our product, and is also easily disposable. So if you easily disposed of it. So even if you live in New York City and you have a really small recycling bin, the box breaks down. A 16-inch pizza box now becomes 8 inches wide. So it's more manageable. It's it's no longer just a simple delivery mechanism. So I think that business owners have a commitment to the environment. We take so much from the environment as in industry.
You're right.
I think where you can, you have to give back, and that's what really motivated me to want to get into the environmental quarter of business. I think that there is a responsibility of business owners, and it's a better mousetrap. I mean, that's the bottom line. It doesn't cost any more money to manufacture it than a regular box. It's just a premium product, and if a restaurateur values their foods as premium foods, they should package it in a better box. I mean,
that's beautiful.
I worked at a major cosmetics company, and 92% of the cost of some fragrances are in packaging.
Really?
So it's just ridiculous. It doesn't have to.
It doesn't have to be. So now you're making it from recycled product. It's multifunctional, and so now I'm the president, and I say, "Hey, Will, this has been a nice elevator ride. Does it cost more than my regular box?"
And the answer would be no, it does not.
And there you go. And now I want to call you up and buy this for my big pizza chain. Will, are you going to be now you're going to be obviously a smashing success at the pizza show. We know it. Mike and I are totally amazed by everything you're doing here. But now tell us some of the dreams of the entrepreneur. Obviously, you started this thinking about it in 92, 2001, 2002, the new epiphany and the evolving, and now you're ready, just about to bust out. This is your American Idol moment. What are the dreams in terms of Europe, in terms of Asia? What are the possibilities for your company?
Well, they're limitless. We have international patents filed at the. And we also have a trademark on on the GreenBox name. We're selective at what countries we're going to be trademarking in.
Right.
But we filed with PCT applications for the product. We're more thinking about complementary products, like what else can we do? And we have 5 or 6 other products that are under that same GreenBox umbrella with the same approach, using either biodegradable, recycled, recyclable. We're trying to, the sustainability, people throw that word around, and there's a real simple definition to sustainable. It's meeting the needs of today without impacting the resources of tomorrow.
Wow.
And that's what Eco Incorporated tries to do. That's what we do. If we don't make products that consume resources. We take resources that have already been used, reclaim them, and meet the needs of today without impacting the resources of tomorrow.
That is amazing. This is so really your company, Eco Incorporated and GreenBox, and all the products you have in development behind the GreenBox. This is your DNA. You have a green DNA through and through.
Exactly. I grew up on a lake, and I mean those. Just keeping, even when I was a kid, keeping that clean, beer cans floating. I mean, we always did what we could to try to help the environment, and I'm honored that this is my job. I mean, I truly love what I do, and if there's one thing that I could say to people, entrepreneurs, just don't give up. Don't let somebody tell you can't live your dream or you can't realize your dream.
Where are your boxes manufactured, if you don't mind us asking?
With the physical location, or who's our manufacturer?
And, what state, where? Because those are real people who are making your boxes are really part of the new green collar economy.
Exactly. Yeah. They're currently being made in Statesville, North Carolina.
Oh, beautiful! And
we don't import anything. We use American-made materials. We reclaim what's called OCC cardboard. We reclaim it, recycle it, and it's all U.S. workers, U.S. material, and we sell it to the United. I mean, we're all about keeping everything in this country.
That is great. And you have a new YouTube video that you taped that you're going to be debuting in Vegas, correct?
Yeah, we do. We have two of them, a demonstration video on how the product works, because there is a demo URL on the front of the box, and we also shot a video with this beautiful little girl, Grace. She's 6 years old, and going to be a movie star, no question about it. And she's just so pure and innocent, and loves the product. Loves it. Wanted to do it. Well, she's the star of our new video.
Well, Will, we so appreciate your time today, Will Walsh. You are the star of Green is Good. You're going to be a green rock star in the environmental and sustainability world. Mike and I are so appreciative when wonderful, visionary, and inspiring entrepreneurs like you take their time out of their day to come on our show, Green is Good. And Will Walsh, we wish you all the luck in the world, and we just want you to know that you are living proof that green is good.
This program will be available for downloading in a couple of days from our station's website, keyword podcast. Thanks for listening, and join us again next week at the same time for another edition of Green is Good.